Okay. Hey, hi. How are you? I hope that you are having a great day and enjoying yourself. I'm pouring this like shit, but I don't really care. We're all just dealing with it. It's the beginning of the week for me. I don't know when you're watching this, but I hope that you are having a good time. That you're staying dedicated, to yourself and to the things that you deserve and that you need, and that things are working out in your favor that way. I already knew. I haven't mentioned it yesterday that this week is going to be an interesting one. So I'm not terribly surprised with the way that the energy has worked out thus far. I am not complaining at all. I'm going to take full advantage and I'm going to do what I need to do for myself, which includes treating myself. It's a balance. It's important to do those things so that you don't end up getting completely burnt out or distracted from your ultimate goals. You don't want to end up selling yourself to somebody else just because of a sense of responsibility when you're the one in control of choosing what responsibilities you take on or not. So it's just important to know yourself and to continue to care for yourself even when everything is a little crazy. A little crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. This was the cheapest wine I could get at the store. So I wasn't sure what to expect of it. But don't mind the fact that I'm covered in lipstick, and also I've got a zit right here. Just like a super inconvenient space for a zit. I popped it last night and it made my eyes water. It's bad. But I did pop it, but that's why it's a little red. I can't ever leave my face alone. As soon as I get any sort of zits, I start picking at them and fucking with them and making them worse. So I'm trying not to do that with this. I'm trying to just ignore it, but that's what it is. It isn't lipstick. Don't worry about it. I probably shouldn't have pointed it out. Now you're going to be staring at it the whole time. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I'm the worst about those things. Yeah, vanilla, blackberry, and cocoa. Interesting. I do like the blackberry though, because it's sweet and tart, which almost makes, because the wine is so bitter, wine itself tends to be so bitter, that a blackberry tends to make it real sweet. I mean, if you get really good wine, it can be quite flavorful, like cherry wine or peach wine. Peach wine is good. I'm a bougie bitch. I'm not really, because I've literally been living off of cans of fucking black beans and garbanzo beans with the hot sauce for weeks. And I just stocked up with the little bit of money that I have left, because I had to finish paying rent, but I spent $6 to get wine because I fucking earned it. I'm doing a good thing, and this is good for me. So I feel like, they say a glass of wine a day is fine. I feel like as a woman, it's fine for me to drink a bottle of wine a day if I really insisted upon it. That'd probably be fine. I don't normally drink. I was gonna get some beer as well, but I decided to get some peanuts and shit instead with the wine, because that'll last me longer. Plus, it's not like I need beer. I just like it. They have Guinness in bottles. They had a 6-pack for $11, which is a great price. It's for the drought in a bottle, which is good. I do like it. I like it in the bottle, especially if you want to pour it into a glass. Out of the bottle is really, really nice. Out of the can, it doesn't really make sense, but the can comes with a like carburetor of some sort. Like when you pop it, it has this like ball inside of it that helps keep it right. I like Guinness, but they had a foreign drought. Is it drought? I believe so. I think the only things that they had were droughts, but they had like 4 different kinds, which I was not aware of. One was a extra stout. No, they're stouts, but I mean it's a stout regardless. Listen, I'm not a beer expert. I just have taste buds that enjoy things. Okay. I digress. All right. I'm going to use those for clarification. I don't know why I brought these out, but we shall see. I'm going to use my Hermetic deck. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be talking about, but I can feel something powerful brewing. That much I do know. Okay. Ooh, this is beautiful. Okay. I haven't seen these cards before. Oh, I guess I have seen that one, just didn't recognize it looked like that. Okay. I'm just going to start like this. We have 4 cards that came face up. The 6 of Cups in the upright, the 5 of Wands in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse, and the Sun in the upright. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups in the upright. That's my sign right there. Scorpio. And then we got the 5 of Wands in the reverse, which I haven't seen this card before. Kind of crazy. Leo and Saturn. Yeah, that's a little crazy. Then we got the Empress in reverse, which I haven't seen. Beautiful. And the Sun in the upright, right? Okay. Let me see. Actually getting to put it like this. And 29, but they're Roman numerals, so it's III and XIX, which is, and they're right on top of each other. Yeah, this is right. Okay, I was told to put them like this. Okay. Told, I mean, I just felt it, but I digress. Okay, so at the top we have Lord of Strife in the reverse, and we have Daughter of the Mighty Ones in the reverse. There's a lot of duality going on between these two. There's a lot of strength and power, but it's in the reverse. There is 3, 6, 9, 12 stars in the Empress card. This 5 of Wands has, it's a chaotic card to me. It has 2 lions that look crazy. And then it has these 2 moons on these scepters that are being intertwined with snakes that are coming out of the winged disc. There's also butterfly wings at the bottom. Is that what that is? No. I thought they were butterfly wings, but they're actually crocodile heads. and everything's on fire. Now, in the Empress card, in the reverse, 2 DNA strands on either side are on fire. But everything else seems quite, like, cool, calm, and collected. As I get makeup all over the cards. Okay. The Lord of Strife. Leo, it being signified by Leo and Saturn, is giving me, like, arrogance. It's in the reverse, though, which I'm seeing as a good sign. However, it's right, well, okay, so it's above the 6 of Cups in the upright, which is like this generosity. That's what I'm getting out of it. It's like a generosity out of, I mean, there's a double helix here, but it's lotus flowers. And so it's almost like out of one's own healing, out of one's own core aspects, but like the beautiful aspects of an individual, like the things that make them strong, the things that make them pure, the things that help them to connect with others. It's out of those qualities that this water is pouring out. You know, we have the sun here on top, and it's pouring out into all of these cups. And so it's almost this idea that, like, there's enough to go around for everyone. Not only enough for oneself, but enough to go around for everyone. And it's almost like it's being alchemized out of this strife. That's why it's in the reverse, is that, like, it's leading into this 6 of Cups, where it's like out of what was the strife, it's like not taking that onto yourself, but rather alchemizing that and having it become, like, enough that you can give to others from it, that you can benefit others with it. But the Empress in the reverse, especially with this card, since it has the Phoenix on it, it's kind of coming across as negative. But maybe not. Maybe it's more like, because the Phoenix will burn itself to ashes and then replenish itself and build itself up again. And it's kind of like a sign of transition, in the same way that, like, a cicada would be, right? Like, it has to completely shed this old skin and become something completely new. But at the same time, it's still the same thing. It's just that's part of its cycle. And there's also a lotus at its feet. But in the reverse, I guess I'm just seeing, like, because of the duality, that it's not that isn't happening. It's happening, but it's not the traumatic experience that it has seemed in the past. And it is not, like, calling for change. It's not calling for a total change. It's almost like, well, directly underneath it, sorry, I'm going to put a plug in this bottle. Directly beneath it, we have the sun in the upright, and it has, you know, these 2 women dancing and celebrating under the sun. And it's this idea of, like, that it's positivity at best. Like, why is it in the reverse? Okay, well, let's the moon in the reverse. haven't seen this card in this deck. So it's Marceline, but it doesn't look anything like her, which weirded me out. A lot of these cards look like the characters, but it's the totally unofficial Adventure Time deck, and you know, so it's not by the original artist. But like, this doesn't even look like Marceline. She has like thick bushy eyebrows and like big eyes, big nostrils. She looks like me. She doesn't look like Marceline, she looks like me. There's this moon. There's this wolf in the water. And normally in the moon card, there's a wolf or a coyote that's howling at the moon. And the symbol of it is like emotional cycles, intuition, like the things that we can't control coming to the surface. But in this, Marceline's in between the moon and the wolf, and she's petting the wolf. And it's like almost like submitting to her to a degree, and being in the water is still giving me this idea of the tides being affected by the moon, but it's almost like there's something standing in between the natural influence of things that's influencing it, but it's in the reverse as our clarifier. And so as I'm seeing it next to it, like then it's making in this card, it seemed like this would be Marceline here where the stars are, the moon would be out here, and then the phoenix here would be like the wolf. Right? I'm getting like trusting your inner instincts to guide you. Like you don't even have to fully understand the point. Like the phoenix tends to almost, like it's an intentional transition that they're experiencing when they burn themselves to ashes and then re-establish themselves. That's all quite intentional. At the same time, and I'm pretty sure it's Harry Potter. I watched the first movie, I believe, but I never read them. But I'm pretty sure in Harry Potter, there's a phoenix. Maybe the first or second movie, I don't know. Because I saw them, I think. Not all of them, though. In one of the movies, I'm pretty sure that there is a phoenix. And it almost like spontaneously combusts. Like it's just like this thing that it does. But then it almost like it's like this cycle of suffering, or like it's beautiful because it's constantly rebuilding itself back, and because it has this magical power of rejuvenation, and essentially, what's the word? When you live forever, immortality. It has like this sense of immortality. They like harness the power of the phoenix in order to create that for themselves. Yeah. So it's like going back into that like destiny swap energy, right? There's somebody attempting to do that, to harness this energy, but it's in the reverse because we're not letting that happen. You're just going to take and use from me. If you like this gift so much, you learn it for yourself. Because it's not for you, it's for me to do what I have to do with. Not for other people to be like, oh, that's valuable. Let me see what I can do with that. Like, I did not give you permission. Get the fuck out of my space. And so that's why it's leading into the sun, too, is that, like, it's leading into an abundance. There's this chaos behind the scenes, and this arrogance behind the scenes that's attempting to, it sees this power of the phoenix, and it's like, yeah, I want that. even like in this card, like as seeing it as its own pet, where it's almost like, oh, well, you're just a dumb animal. Like, you need me somehow to care for you. You're below me. As a person like this, you know, you need me to survive. Like, I'm the one that provides for you. And that's why it's okay for me to take from your energy and like to stop you from doing the things that you are led to do when that's getting cut off. Like, there's a blockage here. Not a blockage, there's an alchemization that's happening. There is a blockage though, hold on. I don't want to use that, I want to use this. What is the blockage? Like, what is the, how is this working? How's this working? How, I mean, I already know for myself, but I want to see what the cards say. The Emperor in reverse. Okay, so we have the Empress in reverse, right? And that's this idea that, like, because I see that you have something valuable to me, so I'm going to take from it. It's kind of like, I can't remember the Star Wars movies either, because I only watched them once. I know the lore a bit, but, like, isn't there a period of time where the Empress isn't recognized as the Empress? It's almost like even like in a never-ending story where, like, the Empress, like, is the child Empress. She's separated from what's going on because she's necessary to the story, but there's this energy that's trying to manipulate the story, that's trying to manipulate the land of imagination, and in which she's the Empress of. So it's like isolating her in order to try to, like, move through these things. And it's almost like, I mean, I'm pretty sure at the end, like, the point was to try to name the Empress. You have to call out her name, and it's almost like this energy is trying to rob her of her name and her identity. And so the way this is being blocked is by the Emperor in reverse. Is by not, it's almost like embracing the ashes. It's like that, right? So it's like this phoenix is being looked at like, oh, you have this quality of rejuvenation, of immortality that I want. So, you know, instead of it being like a vampire, like I might be immortal, but instead of being a vampire where I'm going and like feasting on other people because I'm immortal and like it makes them immortal, instead I'm withholding that power. I'm not acting that way, and it's making people that want that immortality hunt me and seek me out, sort of deal. And the phoenix is like, you know what? I'm gonna burn to ashes, and then I'm gonna stay in those ashes for a while until you can't harness that energy. And this goes back to a reading that I did a while ago, but like I mean, like maybe like a week ago or so, where I was sensing somebody, if not multiple people, in my energy trying to harness my energy. And essentially what they had done was that they bound themselves to my energy. What they realized that I was alchemizing everything that they were throwing at me, and that it was making it a blessing. It was taking these curses and turning them into actual blessings, and that I was being blessed by the universe. And so in order to get on that, then they bound themselves to me in a way where they're like, okay, then let me just receive whatever it is that she's receiving. That way I can receive her blessings. Instead of trying to block me any longer, they let me receive my abundance, but the point was to try to receive that abundance because I was receiving it, and to bind me in such a way where they could almost like be in between me and that, so that they could be the ones that receive it. But so what the universe requested of me, and the position I put myself into, was to be willing to go without sustenance, to go without comfort to go without any sense of certainty for a period of time, because I can handle that. I've already been through that a million times. This is part of my process as a transitionary. The Phoenix is also a Scorpion onyx symbol. That's part of my internal process, but it is not part of every person's internal process, especially not those coming up against me. They wouldn't be coming up against me if they truly understood my innate power, right? So they're attempting to put themselves in that same space, and I pray for blessings in the sense that if you're willing to go through the work and do the thing and follow the right path, then you receive those things. These people are not willing to do that. These people are attempting to, sorry, I got a text, are attempting to just live off of the work that I do or the energy output that I put out. So yeah, I can stay in a low state and survive just fine for a period of time, where others aren't able to do that so easily because they've never been in that position. They've always been able to harness off of other people. You know, they've always robbed and stolen and lied and cheated their way into some sort of comfort. And when comfort and convenience is their king, they've had that and they've been able to serve that, and it's given them comfort and convenience, but that means that they can't handle not being comfortable and not being convened, which is where my power comes from. So as they're then bound to me, they are put into a position of not being comfortable or convened, and I am put into a position of receiving my power while they're actively losing theirs. I essentially just turn their attempt at a destiny swap completely around on them. And the thing about this form of magic is that it literally came through skill building over time. This isn't just me running around naked under the moon, killing birds and hoping that, shaking their blood all over me is going to give me somebody else's power. This is me actively doing work, actively choosing to be appreciative, choosing to be humble, choosing to be happy despite extremely, conflicting circumstances, and letting that cultivate an actual power within me. This isn't me stealing power from the universe and using it some sort of way. This is literally coming directly from me. It's something I've been cultivating for a long time. It's something you cannot take from me, and it's something you can't mimic. You can't. You have to either do the work or get the shit that you're trying to give to me handed right back to you, because I'm not receiving it. Not only am I not receiving it, the act of you even trying to give it to me is making me more powerful and giving you karma. So I don't have a problem expressing these things. I don't have to be afraid any longer of putting out my information. I've been so cautious for so many years to explain myself, to express my personal experiences, to, I've always been very guarded, and I remain that way to some degree, but at the same time, I don't have to be that way in any sort of fear any longer, because I've done the work. I've done the work time and time and time and time and time and time again. I've proven it. I've proven that this is something real, that this is me doing it, that it isn't some fluke, it isn't some magic spell, it isn't some, certain type of manipulation. It's literally me doing the right thing, doing what I'm called to do, and doing it well. And you can't mimic that. You can't fake that shit. You can't. What did they say? There's no replacement for genuineness. I forget what the phrase is. Yeah, so any attempts on these parts is not going to end well for the people involved. And I recently went through this little process with the universe where I was being asked to humble myself in order to continue to do this work. not the work like at the job that I have, this spiritual work that I've been called to. And it got so heavy, and I've been so burdened and so tired, and I've been feeling like, it's supposed to get to this point where I don't have to keep doing this and it'll be better, because I don't like seeing it. I don't like being a part of it, right? But in the past month, it's been cultivated within me to embrace it, to receive it, to understand that this is the work that I've been called to. It's not about me being comfortable. I'm able to make myself comfortable the ways that I need to, as I need to. The universe provides for me, so I don't have to concern myself with those things. And again, it seems bougie because I did my makeup today, put on jewelry, got myself a bottle of wine, washed my hair, right? It doesn't matter what people see, and I don't have to explain myself, but what people don't realize is these earrings in this necklace together probably cost $1, $1, maybe. Because I got them online and I got them for extremely cheap. This shirt cost me $1. I got 4 of them for $5, including shipping. This sweater I got at the thrift store. This sweater is the most expensive thing I have on. It was $7. These pants were also $7, so I guess the same. The lipstick that I have cost maybe $1.50. I washed my hair. That's not, I live in a house. That isn't something super bougie. I paid $6 for this bottle of wine. So, it's not like I'm living outside of my means. I just know how to care for myself. I know how to give myself nice things at a reasonable price. I'm not sacrificing myself. I'm not sacrificing anybody else. I'm not putting any sort of I'm staying balanced. And these are the rewards of that balance as well. The reason that I have things, the reason that I am able to live the way that I live in my life is because I do the right thing. Like I said, you can't fake that. I couldn't fake that either. This isn't just a magic trick. This isn't something, I don't have to wait on a moon cycle to be able to do something good with my life or to be able to benefit. I don't do that shit because I don't need to. I'm a real person that's really in this, that's fully connected to all of these things. I still worship nature. I still care about the moon cycles. The only holidays I believe in are the, solstices. I don't, I'm pagan for all intents and purposes, but I'm not a witch. I'm, I practice a craft, which is a spiritual relationship that I have with the universe. I'm a wizard, I'm a magician to certain degrees, I'm a time traveler. I have these gifts that I have turned into skills. I'm extremely grateful for those things, but that isn't me. That's my capacity to humble myself to the universe because it's trying to do great things through me. And my whole example here is just to teach people that they also have that capacity. It might not be the same thing. It's like the X-Men, right? Maybe not all of us can burst something into flames just by thinking about it. Every single one of us has a unique power that the universe is trying to cultivate within us through what we consider to be traumas. But those things are actually processes for our betterment and our empowerment. It's all in how you receive it and what you make of it. So, if you're jealous of anything that I have going for me, please don't be. Please understand that, you wouldn't be able to handle the things that I've had to go through in order to have what I have. I assure you. There was a very specific reason I had to go through the things that I've gone through. It's because it's me. I'm me. That's what the universe had for me. You're not me. So quit trying to be. And I'm not trying to be you. I'm not trying to be anybody other than who I am either. And that alone is enough of a task. Like, if you're literally trying to be like anybody else, if you're literally giving envy, jealousy, bitterness, power to anyone outside of yourself, you're wasting time and energy. You're wasting yourself. You deserve so much more from yourself. You deserve to embrace yourself fully and to recognize how truly powerful you are without all this shit. And the universe is blessing you right now. Like, whoever it is that keeps trying to get in my energy and rob me of all these things, and I'm pretty sure it's multiple people. So if you're watching this and you know that I'm talking to you, when I warn you, it's not because, like, I'm going to come for you. It's because I care about you. It's because I know how this math works. And I'm trying to teach you so that you don't end up fucking yourself over for no reason. It doesn't make me feel like a better person when I see that those that have come up against me are in shitty, terrible situations. Probably why I'm not actually a violent person. Yeah, sometimes I feel like people deserve to get punched in the fucking face or even stabbed for being the ways that they are. Sometimes I feel like the world would be a better place if those people just ceased to exist entirely. But that's not my job. So I don't do those things. Okay, I don't engage in that type of thing. I feel my feelings, I let them go, I move on. I do what I'm supposed to do, which isn't taking revenge, isn't trying to control shit, isn't trying to judge that this person's supposed to be like this and this should be like this. In fact, I completely separate myself from those ideas so that I can see that things are outside of my control, and I much prefer it that way, and that what I am in control of, I focus on those things. And you know what I'm in control of? Me. That's it. That's it. I'm not, like I said, waiting for certain moon cycles so that I can try to gain some sort of control over certain things. I'm not using my words a certain way to try to, convince certain people of certain things in order to manipulate some sort of sense of anything. That would all just gain me negative karma that I don't need. I've been through enough. I've been through enough that I did not ask for, and I've made the most of it, and I'm going to continue to make the most of things. I already get enough karma just for being who I am, which is not always the smartest, not always the most responsible, not always the most mature. So it's not like I'm all not dealing with karma. It's not like I'm some perfect fucking person that doesn't have to deal with my own bullshit. I have to deal with my own bullshit every day. The difference is I actually do it. But while you're busy deflecting your bullshit, acting like you're perfect, while you're literally begging for karma by doing the things that you're doing, I'm doing the opposite. I'm not sitting here trying to screw people over so that I can get a leg up. Because I'm aware that this wheel is turning, and that's not how it's going to be. In fact, I've been this way my whole life. I wasn't even aware of a wheel turning in some sort of specific degree. I just don't feel good about myself or about the world at large if I'm being a piece of shit taking advantage of people. I don't know how you do feel okay about yourself. In fact, I'm pretty sure that people that live like that don't feel good about themselves, and that's why they do those things. They are misled. They think that those things are going to make them happy, and that's why they keep doing it. And they have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And no millions of dollars is ever going to make them happy, and no millions of followers is ever going to make them happy, and no, perfect family, perfect partner, perfect body, perfect life is ever going to make them feel the ways that they really want to feel. They still have to keep it up. They still have to keep doing those things. They can't just sit in peace and quiet by themselves and feel some type of way. And it's funny because my roommate had made that comment to me yesterday because he hears me in here talking when I'm doing these things. And then when I'm talking to him, I can't shut the fuck up. When I'm being social, I can't shut the fuck up. I talk nonstop, right? So he's like, do you even ever just like, do you ever just sit quietly? He's like, because I assume that the only time that you're not sitting in there talking, you're probably like being weirdly sexual, which is funny and fair. I mean, if you know me. But that's not even what I'm doing. And I do practice meditation, and I do sit in silence with myself where I'm not just scrolling through my phone. I'm not just reading, a book or just staring at a wall even. Like, there's times that I get deeply introspective, and there's times that I release that deep introspection in order to just be at peace. And I do practice those things, and I would suggest that everybody does. But I know a lot of people that aren't given to that. I know a lot of people that feel like they're wasting their lives away if they take some time to actually care for themselves instead of going out every night and banging strangers. That's where your value lies. I know that you're miserable. I know that you're miserable. Like, I'm not putting that on you. No, you're all great. You're all good. Like, brother, look me in the eyes and tell me that. In person, you couldn't. You couldn't. You can hide behind screens. You can hide behind all these other people, all this social status, all this money, all this fame, but you're not a happy person. If you were a happy person, you wouldn't be jealous of me, who has fucking nothing in comparison to you. I'm a nobody, and I like it that way. And that's what you can't handle, because you don't like feeling like a nobody. You don't like being alone. You don't like not having somebody you can constantly run to comfort you. You don't like having something you can constantly use in order to cope. You can't do those things. You don't like those things. You hate yourself. So you use those things, and you hate yourself for using those things. And you don't know how to stop the cycle. You don't feel empowered to. And you don't understand how I could possibly feel empowered when you're constantly trying to take my power away from me. Sucks to be you. Go within. Build a relationship with the divine. That's all that I've done. I've been blessed and privileged to be able to have that my entire life. Okay, that's true. I was called from the time I was born, probably even before then, for sure, even before then. And I'm thankful for that. I'm blessed for that. But I don't know, man. I don't feel like I'm so different from anybody. I really don't. Like, and if I am, it's only because I've actually done the work. That's the difference. Like, I don't think that, like, there's anything that I've done or could do that anybody isn't capable of. I'm not so fucking special. I'm not so fucking capable. I'm not crazy talented. Basically, everybody I know is more talented than me, smarter than me, more capable than I am. I see it. They just don't see it. You know? Or they do, but they're validating it by such shallow standards that when those things are not there for them, when those things aren't lining up that way, suddenly they don't feel their value any longer. And it's like, if I do anything, I tell people right from the start, and I tell everybody, man, I tell everybody, you don't have to talk to me for 5 minutes without the things coming out that, like, without it coming out of me that, like, you are a real person that deserves to live a real life, that is incredibly valuable in a real world, and that all of this shit is a whole bunch of illusion that's just trying to pull you away from your own sense of value for yourself, trying to convince you that your value and your identity is determined by something outside of yourself, and as long as you fall for that, you're actually screwing yourself over. Don't fall for that. You're not alone in this. You have support. You don't have to buy into those things. I don't like feeling like I'm always the only one in my life that's pursuing these things, that has a grip on these things. But I've felt that way my whole life. And I've only continued to cultivate this more and more and more. I didn't understand it when I was young. And then I I kind of did rebel against it, I guess, as a teenager. I didn't fully, because it was always still in my heart. I couldn't even remove myself from it. But it was that feeling of like, you know, begging the universe, like, why me? Why did you call me? Why are you giving me this work? Why are you giving me these responsibilities? I would love to just be able to be one of these other people that doesn't have to give a fuck. You know, that's what I used to tell myself, but I don't believe that. It's not true. I am very blessed and privileged and happy and contented to not be like everyone else. Because everybody else seems goddamn fucking miserable. And I understand the emotions. I understand the feelings of those things. But where it was coming from for me, and what I assume it's coming from, honestly, for most people, is that I was in, like I said, like denial of my true responsibility to myself, to the universe, to those around me. And it was making me miserable. I wanted to kill myself most of my life. I wasn't well. It took a long time to cultivate that. And cultivating that came through just accepting what it is that the universe has for me. You know, as the Phoenix, like, you can beat yourself up for your skill, your magic, your power. Because it sucks so much to have to constantly die. I have to die every day and then rebuild myself. This is a lot of work and I'm tired. That's understandable. That's fair. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. Your work is still essential. Your power is still needed. You know. And unfortunately you're immortal. So like, you might as well just accept it and learn to embrace it, because it's not going anywhere. You can't kick against the goads, is what they say. You can't hide from your destiny. You can try. You can try, but you end up looking like a kid hiding under a desk where you see their feet sticking out and you can see that they're under there trying to hide, and you can see them and they think that they're not seen. Like, you can't actually hide from you, from yourself, from your highest power, from you in this third person perspective, watching you, living through you. It's best just to embrace it instead of trying to embrace somebody else and say that that's what you are. No, I'm this person. And that way when they fuck up, I can be like, no, it's their fault. That was on them. I was just following them. It's like, as if that's not your choice. As if that's not your power. We're not talking about what that person's done with your power. We're talking about what you've done with your power in order to even give that person your power in the first place. I mean, do all the shitty things that you want, but it's only going to lead to strife. How interesting that the card that's representing arrogance in this spread is the Lord of Strife, and the card that's representing abundance and peace and purity is the Lord of Pleasure. That the capacity to be able to give unto others, to pour out of yourself in a way that continues to pour and continues to pour and continues to pour and continues to pour, that is pleasure. That's where pleasure lies. And this arrogance of the chaos of I can control other people and I'm the powerful one and I have all these things going for me and la-di fucking da. That's strife. That you're bringing onto your own head. Everything's in fucking flames on that card. It's not power. Right? The Empress in reverse and the being clarified by the Emperor in reverse is talking about not having to be on top in order to be powerful, not having to be secure in order to be contented, not having to have an entire kingdom beneath you in order to feel like you are on top of your own destiny, of your own life, of your own self. As long as you continue to validate yourself by the external, You will not be able to fully embrace yourself as you truly are. And what I kept getting from this sun card too is that even though there's two women dancing together, that essentially they're like twins, and that even more than twins, it's talking about like a metaphor for them essentially being the two sides of conflicting sides of ourselves at any given time, coming into a union with one another and being able to embrace positivity in the balance between each other. The Lord of the fire of the world. It's the thing that gives life. It's the thing that sustains life. The balance of duality, the thing that gives life and sustains life. Sustainability is everything. It's everything. Everything but it is momentary, which serves a purpose for a time, but it's best not to cling to those things, otherwise you're also clinging to momentary, and you're not momentary, you're eternal. But when you identify yourself by the momentary, you end up losing yourself again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and you wonder why. When you should be wondering who and then going deep into that and then embracing that and then being able to move forward in that. Because when you know who you are, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter who's trying to rob you, who's trying to lie on you, who's trying to manipulate some dumb shit in order to get on top of you. You can trust that the universe has got you because you know that you are that universe, that universe exists through you, that you are innately connected to all things, and that anything that somebody tries to do against you, they're really just trying to do against themselves because they don't know themselves. And you can stand in your truth. And you can die again and again and again and again, and you will continue to raise up. And you won't feel beaten down for it. You won't feel weak for that. You will recognize the insane amount of power that it takes to be so eternal, to be immortal. I didn't ask for this, but I can embrace it. That takes strength. That takes courage. That takes integrity. Those things don't just come by fucking a goat. Those things take time, energy, and knowing oneself truly. It takes work, but it's genuine. And genuineness, it's the thing that lasts. That's what's sustainable. The masks, the illusions, the different ways that we want to feel at any given time, these things only last for a time. My appearance right now is changed even since the beginning of this video. It doesn't last. It's not going to last. This body isn't going to last. These things aren't going to last. These things don't mean anything. There's a video clip of, so beautiful, of Mike Tyson being interviewed by this dude who's showing him all of his, like, belts and trophies and all of the things that he's won during his fighting years, over all of the years. And Mike's like, look at this. And he's like, yeah, that's the world championship belt. You earned that. That's what the interviewer is saying. Mike Tyson's like, it's garbage. It doesn't mean anything. He's like, I bled and almost died for what? Garbage. None of this stuff means anything. Maybe it means something to somebody if money means something to somebody, but you know what's really important? Is being happy. Is loving those that are close to you. Is ensuring that your kids can survive and thrive in their lives. This is garbage. This stuff means nothing. What's really truly important, and he said, once you mature enough and once you go through enough and once you're old enough, you realize that none of this matters. What really matters is love, is life, is happiness. And those things can't be bought. Those things can't be sold. Those things can't be put on and then taken off. Those things are cultivated deep within an individual, and they sustain the individual, they sustain the community, they sustain life. Those are the things that are eternal. The reason I am eternal is because I have cultivated these things within myself. Yes, I was born the way that I am. I was, and I am blessed that way. But I had to cultivate these things. I did have to cultivate these things, and it came through trauma. It came through pain. It came through loss. It came through having, like a lotus, having to uncloak myself through layers of mud just to be what I am today. And I ain't even there yet. Okay, so like don't look at me and try to have anything that I have. That's insane. This isn't even me just being like, please stop robbing me. Like, it's like, no, man, like, you deserve so much better. I know I have told you this because I tell everybody this. I know I have told you this. I tell everybody this. I have told everybody. I have looked people in the eye who intended to kill me, and I've told them, you deserve better. I love you. I wish that you loved yourself as much as I love you, because you deserve better than this. Than what I have to offer, that's for me. You deserve your best. Otherwise, you're settling. Don't settle for me. Don't even settle for you. But if you're going to settle at all, yeah, settle for you. I mean, come on. I can't make... You can't steal anything from me that will actually make you better. You can't take my experiences away from me in a way that's going to validate anything for you. Well, as long as we're both miserable, at least we're both miserable. I don't need to have what you have, but at least you can be as low as I am. I won't be, though. You can't make me. I'm better than that. So, if you want to quit putting yourself down and keeping yourself in a low state, which is the only validation that I'm in any better of a position than you are, to be clear, because this certainly isn't it. But I digress. If you want to keep giving me your power, I'm going to keep using it to return to you with love and hoping that eventually you learn and see it for what it really is. But if you're going to keep trying to, like, take from me what isn't meant for you, you're just asking for karma. I don't know why you're doing that. You're smarter than that. That's literally insane. Quit doing that. Quit it. Not only are you making me more powerful, which, like, thank you, but I'm good too. Like, I'm fine. I mean, it is what it is. I'll keep taking from life what it hands to me and trying to make the most out of it. But you deserve better. You don't deserve to be this person. Quit doing that. Embrace yourself. Quit selling your soul. The only thing that keeps it sold, by the way, since you can't actually sell your soul, is you believing that you have, and then continuing to give your power to the people that believe that they bought it. Fuck that. Fuck them. Nobody is in control of you that you don't give your power to. Quit giving those people your power. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they threaten. You embrace your full power. You embrace yourself. Nothing they say or do can touch you. No weapon formed against you will prosper when you are truly in alignment with your highest power. But you have to do that in faith. You have to do the work. You can't just rely on somebody else to do that. You can't sit here and rob your employees and think that your business is going to succeed. Sorry, that's not how it works. It's never worked that way, and it's certainly not going to continue not working that way. It's not going to work that way. It's never worked that way, but it's not going to start working that way either. And it's even more not going to work that way as we move into the future, because things are changing, tides are turning. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Because eventually, if you fuck over enough people, people are going to start to find out, and people are going to start to feel some type of way. I suggest you just start being your best self. It's going to serve you better in the end. Unless you want the karma. I mean, that's your choice. That's your choice. You want to keep these cycles up? By all means. That's on you. But I pray for better. weird reading. But I'm going to go do some stuff, and I'll probably see you a little bit later. All right, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a good one.